You don't like that idea. Hey,
I
everybody,
actually
we're
do.
back. Jarrod doesn't. Jarrod doesn't like me.
I disagree, but I like the idea. We'll just keep it at that. You have to stay tuned to
Yes,
find the answer to that question.
that is right. That is some of the off-camera stuff that we're talking about. Hey, for those that are joining with us, you know what I didn't even do so far? I didn't even tell anybody on any of the socials that we were live.
Oh
How
man.
bad. Hey, if you guys are out there, if you're watching, if you're checking out the Vlog Pastors podcast right now, make sure you let somebody know they should come over and listen to Jarrod and I pontificate. And if you see this going weird on my face, that nice glow, that is from my PC monitor. I prefer dark mode on everything. What about you, Jarrod?
Oh
Do you
yeah.
like
Oh
dark
yeah.
mode?
Dark mode all the time, all the way.
Dark
Look at
mode.
this. I like the contrast. I like all the different colors and the pops of light. So dark mode all the way.
All right.
So nice.
I'm letting people know over on Facebook that they can check us out. And hey, if you happen to come over from Facebook, even though you're going to hear this differently, let us know.
Yeah.
Say
Hey,
what's up.
say what's up in the comments because I'm in the comments right now, waiting for somebody to say something so I can say hello.
Jarrod
Actually, I'm
is
just
in
gonna
the
fire it off.
comments.
Hello.
You're saying hello. All right, now I'm back. I am back to just dark mode, and we are here. So you know what I'm thinking, Jarrod? Seeing that we have a few people that are watching and checking us out, we're going to give the early adopters the latest Vlog Pastors podcast intro with the new round of descriptors.
Oh, do it.
And
Roll
this
that
one,
beautiful bean footage, man.
this
Come on,
one
do it.
is a special request from our good buddy from the land down under, the Bogan Preacher.
All right.
Here we go. Vlog Pastors Podcast. We're ready.
Welcome to the Vlog Pastors Podcast, a podcast all about the stories and strategies of sharing God's love in the digital world. Now, here are two pastors that love to put a camera in their face and walk around in public. They are the clinger and radar of digital ministry, Jarrod Brown and Joshua Verwers.
That's right, everybody. Joshua Verwers here. Jarrod Brown. What's up, Jarrod?
What's happening?
What's
Hey,
happening? What?
Special thanks to Doug Townsend on that one. Man,
That's right.
good call, man.
Doug giving us a
Love it.
great call for Vlog Pastors Podcast, episode number 16. We ran through our first round of descriptors that we had through those first 15 episodes and just got the order in. Hey, by the way, if you guys are ever looking for an amazing British female voiceover artist, I cannot recommend any more. Keely is her name. Her ID, her profile over on Fiverr. You can find her. It is British Voice Pro. I'm telling you, I've used her a bunch of different times. I'm going to continue to use her. She is excellent to work with. The quality is amazing. And yeah, just a joy. Honestly, just a joy to work with people when you're reaching out on things like this, different Fiverr or Upwork, or even just going to like your Facebook profile trying to check, hey, have I got any friends that know how to do this stuff? When you find somebody that can do what you're wanting to do
yeah.
and they do it
Invaluable.
well, oh man, it's just absolutely amazing. I just noticed that I had a long stretch to get to my mouse, and apparently I
that
dropped
just won't
this.
do.
It will not do. Because I'm sitting here and I'm sitting back and I'm like, hey, we got some people catching up on the chats. Genevieve is saying hello from the other side of the
Hello
house.
From the other side.
Which, by the way, Genevieve, if anybody wants to bring a floating
Check
coffee
this-
hand,
Check this mug out. Show him the mug.
and it's one of those color changing, so as you can see, coffee's getting low. It's starting to disappear.
That's so good.
It's starting to vanish. So Mama's in the house saying, hey, guys. We got John Hayes has made it. He says, glad to make it live today. And then, of course, Nathan Nelson. How are you doing today? Nathan, We're doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. And look at that. There's Jason Remster giving us a big old wave. Jason.
Dude, you're always in here quick.
You're always in
Awesome.
here, and glad we can catch you. Man, I hope you guys are enjoying life right now. That is what I am hoping. Because, well, I have no idea what I was going to follow up with that.
Are you enjoying life?
I am kind of enjoying life. It is insanely crazy. You know, we're doing this series, Vlog Pastors Podcast, or the season 3, which Nathan is actually asking, are you a pastor? Nathan, both Jarrod and I are pastors. I pastor up here in South Central Iowa. Jarrod is down in Texas, in Stevensville, right? I pastor in Sheraton, Iowa. Or not Stevensville, Stephenville.
It's just one.
It's
There's
one
one
Stephen.
Stephen.
There's no multiple Stevens. And anybody that tries to live in that community, there can only be one. It's like the Highlander there. So there that name is officially banned on the books. If not, Jarrod, run for mayor and do it. And apparently, there, you got a Texas fan. He's saying go Cowboys.
All right.
So there you go. Ooh, which, by the way, Jarrod, football. Texas.
The foosball. Yes, sir.
More of a Cowboy fan or more of a Texans fan? Or are you really old school and you're like, nah, I miss the Oilers?
That's funny. No, man, I am old school. I haven't, this is going to be terrible, but like, used to be a gigantic football fan, love the Cowboys. I still love the Cowboys, but I really don't get to catch a whole lot of football these days. But yeah, I would have said definitely, hands down, Cowboys. There's no other options. Texans are cool. They're like JV. They're like the AAA team. You check them out from time to time, see what they're up to. Give them a little scrub on their heads and say, "You guys did so good this year."
Yeah.
Now, back to the real foosball that's being played. Floating coffee hand.
Every single time. That is what happens, and it makes me giggle. And I was telling Genevieve, I am going to make an animated overlay of like your head on like a little baby angel, in a diaper with wings floating around, and it's going to take me way too long to do it, but I'm going to do it. It's
that used
going
to be
happen.
A part of every vlog. Whenever we, like in the early days, the first 50 vlogs had some sort of angelic sound that we built into every, actually there was a vineyard that we drove by. It drove my wife crazy that every time we drove by this vineyard, I would say, "Man, they're just doing it right. I don't know what it is. There's a scrappy young business. There's something about them that I like. Look at that place." And would play the music every time. And it drove her nuts, man. So I'm sure I'm driving somebody nuts out there, but I'm also entertaining some of you.
Hey, it entertains me, and you've heard me say this more than once. As long as I'm happy.
It's your show, man. It's your channel.
So I am actually enjoying life. We're doing Vlog Pastor Season 3. It has been...
What do you think about it?
I have mixed reviews on it. And so for any of the other Vlog Pastors that are listening to this, I have mixed reviews on this. I'm loving seeing the different pastors' perspectives. I love that. The way that we're all coming together is not coming together. And I don't love that. And part of it is, the interaction that you and I have, Jarrod, we've done season 1, season 2, season 2 point, whatever it was. And because of that, it was us interacting back and forth, and there was a lot. It was hard to keep track of. And that's where, if there's anything I don't like about this season, I take all the blame on it. Because
exactly. This was our fault. Anything that's wrong with this season, how it's gelling together. It's not the personalities of the pastors. These guys are awesome dudes. They're making awesome videos. It's not syncing up quite like it did in the past, because it was just such a demand. Like, we have months of history together, you and I, of conversations back and forth, of checking and tweaking things to say, "Look, I'm getting ready to send a video over. I hope I don't offend you." And those were the early days. And you saying, "Dude, you couldn't ask a question that would offend me. Bring it." And going back and forth. We just don't quite have that, because we set it up in such a way this time around that it wouldn't be necessarily offensive, and it wouldn't, it would be something that the guys could use and interchange some stuff.
Yeah.
real non-threatening, but I think we missed a piece.
Yep, I do think we missed something. Now, to be fair, we've also looked at the Vlogpasters, the series that we do with that, kind of in a series format. At least I have looked at it similar to like television series. And honestly, like if I did this the other day, because I was actually thinking about this before we had, one of our friends that had reached out and mentioned something, and something just feels off, and it's like, yeah, we know it. But even before that, I had looked and done a Google search for what season of television series is most often the worst season.
Season 3, man.
Season 3 or season 4.
Every time, season 3.
Every time. It's one of those seasons for everything. And
well, because season 1, you start off the plot, you're introducing characters, right? Season 2, you're wrapping off that first main plot point. And season 3, you try to take it to a weird and new direction that the audience isn't used to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's some of that. It's some we're introducing a lot of new characters, like a lot of new characters. We went from 2 to 7. And now many of the guys have been kind of recurring guests here and there on the channels, but in this type of a capacity, it hasn't been there. So it's just kind of interesting how that's all coming together. But I'm enjoying the fact, I love that we hit these hurdles and we hit these speed bumps now where it's like, oh, because that doesn't mean we're going to get rid of all of the other guys and be like, no, we're going back to what it was.
No, let's do a better job about
exactly. It's us trying to think this through and say, okay, we wanted to add this. We're still going to add this. But what do we have to do to make it work better? And that's the thing that I'm enjoying, even that type of a mental process to think through. That being said, I'm still enjoying all of the videos. They are very fun. Ken's yesterday. Dude, actually, Ken and Clint. So Clint had Tuesday. Ken had yesterday. Dennis, if you're listening, Dennis, come on, step up your game. Monday was bad. No, I'm joking. It's not that. But Clint came out the gate, and it was hilarious. It was so funny on Tuesday. I loved that. And then yesterday with Ken, the fact that yesterday with Ken where they're not doing church on Sundays, and the question this week is, what does your Sunday look like? And for him to really get creative and explain that, and it was just... It was good. These are all so good. Everybody's bringing their A game and stepping it up. And I'm kind of picking on Dennis, but Dennis is the youth pastor of the group too. And what he did on Monday, bringing that through, really everybody's been good. I'm looking forward to Trey Van Camp today. I'm looking forward to Chase Jones tomorrow, and really looking forward to yours on Saturday. So, we got so much history that I'm looking forward to your vlogs before you've even posted a vlog. So it's like,
appreciate that, man. Dude, let me just, last week you said something that was one that stood out to you that was funny. I was so blown away. This week I'm a little behind, so I'm gonna have to catch up on them. But I was so blown away by these guys and their talent and their perspective. Each one of them has a strength. I mean, we know that about people, but just watching them do their thing, it was incredible. So each time I saw one, I was like, oh, this is my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite. And then I could go back and watch them again. They're all still my favorite. I mean, there was not one that trumped the other. But there was one moment I called my wife in to say, you've got to see this. And it was actually Chase Jones's video in the first 3 seconds. And why that got me, I laughed. I lost it for a long time.
Yes.
Just like, what are you laughing about? And I think I was laughing at it so hard because there is a pressure, to be on, to connect with the audience early. You've got to come right out of the gate, and you're in a series with a bunch of heavy hitters who are bringing their A game, and you don't want to be like, oh, all these videos were awesome, and then there was Jarrod's video way back in the back. And so you could just, you feel the tension of it. And Chase delivers on this thing. He mounts up. If you haven't seen the video, he mounts up to do the whole thing that every YouTuber on Creation goes, what's up? And comes with energy to right out of the gate, and right whenever he strikes it down, he just explodes.
Yeah.
He put in some graphic where he just disappears and there's fire everywhere.
I
could not collect myself.
Yes, I was looking forward to the Peter McKinnon, the way that he set it up, and it was like it's going to happen, and then horrible visual effects, and it was like it was just. But it was bad in such a good way. It was.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, it was good, and then of course Clint got me, and you've got to check out Clint's from Tuesday. You have to check. It was so.
I'm gonna watch them all.
So all funny, and I'm gonna tell on Clint because part of the problem and part of the humor in it. What the people don't know, we got 7 of us pastors here. And so to keep everybody on track, you and we came up with these questions back on like the middle or towards the last week of July. So everybody had these questions like a week plus in advance.
Yeah.
Like just for the first question, it was a week plus in advance. Second week, 2 weeks in advance. 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We gave all 4 weeks of questions there, so they have them. And I sent everybody the Google Doc with it. It was actually, I think, in a calendar. And here's what it is. Here's what day is everybody going on. All the links, everything on there. And so Sunday, I upload my video, and I was having issues. Shame on me. I forgot to update Premiere Pro. And because I didn't update Premiere Pro and it was outdated, I fought for 4 hours Sunday morning trying to export this file, and I could not get it to export. And every time, and it would get like 30 seconds in and then fail, and 30 seconds, and I would adjust a clip and I would edit a clip and I would take it out and put it back in and trying to figure out. I'm checking all of my settings and I'm updating Windows and anything I can figure out. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. Wait.
Did you shoot it on a Sony?
I did. Yes.
You were using proxy files?
I did.
Oh, that's probably your mistake.
So then I didn't upload it 8 and here was the other thing. I had so much pressure because on that calendar, that Google Calendar, I mean, let's see if I can actually if I can show you guys this real quick. You're gonna enjoy this. This is going to be fun, okay? I'm gonna try to pull this up. So here's the calendar, and yeah, so this is the calendar. These are Sundays. Let's let my great Sony focus. What time does it say that Josh uploads on Sundays?
Does it say 3? Does it say 2? What is that number? Somebody tell me what that number is.
That says 2 p.m. Central Time. And on Saturday, somebody released a video and said that Josh is going to be uploading his tomorrow at 8 a.m.
I said I think. Nobody watches it anyway. Who knows, you know?
So I had this added pressure of, and this is Saturday. I've got a wedding to go perform. And so I'm off at the wedding and I'm thinking I'll have time Sunday morning. I'll upload everything. I'll just hit export when I get home. Nope. Added pressure, trying to get it by 8 a.m. I got 20 minutes of sleep Saturday night.
Are you kidding me? 20
minutes of sleep Saturday night because I stayed up trying to get that thing finished and done, and I couldn't get it done. And I just, see, Jen says it was the no sleep. It probably was the no sleep, but I'm blaming that no sleep on Jarrod and his added pressure. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, dude.
But
I'm so sorry.
Now, fortunately, Sunday I wasn't preaching on Sunday. I had Sunday covered. It wasn't me preaching, so it wasn't as big of a deal. But then I get this all done. I'm trying to upload it. It won't work. Go to church. I'm like, whatever. 20 minutes sleep. That's fine. Go to church, get some word, enjoy my time there, come back home. And then I'm like, okay, the first thing I need to do, I need to get this uploaded. And so at the bottom of my screen, there's this little pop-up every time I start up Adobe. I thought it was Creative Cloud telling me that they have now synced my fonts, because the last time I actually looked at that prompt was maybe 6 months ago, and it said that's what it was. So I look this time, it pops up, and I'm like, it says, you have 10 apps that need updated. So then I hit update on Premiere Pro.
2020.
And as soon as I hit update on Premiere Pro, I hit export, and you know that Sony footage with the proxies in 4K? Oh, man.
Ran like a champ, didn't it?
Like that. The whole video was done. But that being said, this is then Sunday afternoon, right? We're at Sunday afternoon at this point. I don't know, maybe even like 3 o'clock at that point. And I upload it, and Clint comments, and he's like, hey, this is a great video. That question is going to be amazing. Would have been helpful, like, I don't know, 6 hours ago. And I thought he was joking because, I mean, I sent the calendar, like 2 weeks ago. And then Monday hits, and he comments on Dennis's. He's like, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, but when you don't find out the question until late, it makes it kind of hard to edit a Sunday vlog. And then I'm like, oh, wait. He really didn't have this. My bad. I should have followed up a little bit more.
Oh, are you serious?
So he hadn't looked at the calendar. And so because he hadn't looked at the calendar, he had to recreate his Sunday after the fact. And he did an amazing job. Like, I couldn't have done that. I would have been so discouraged. I would have been so frustrated. I would have thrown my hands up the air, went in the corner, pouted, and cried like a little baby. And
no, you wouldn't have. You had to come up with the best. Just like
no, I wouldn't.
Man. That's the fun of this blog. That's the fun of this Vlogpasters thing.
I have folders upon folders.
I have. Did you go to sleep?
Okay. Yes.
You did. You did.
But
you got the job done.
I have folders upon folders of vlog ideas that I recorded, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And I got so frustrated, they're just sitting there. And I'll never make a video.
Not in Vlogpasters.
Not in Vlogpasters. I never got any sleep. I would have,
man.
But I wouldn't have been able to make a video as well as Clint did his video. You've got to check it out. Seriously, guys. YouTube.com/Clint Zeller, ClintZeller, and check that video out. He's doing Vlogmas, so he's doing every day in August as well. So I'm a couple days behind on that. I think Tuesday I watched. And actually, I did watch yesterday. Yesterday he did his podcast setup. But no, it was excellent. It was excellent. I laughed so much, and then it hit me in the feels, and it was like, oh, this is just seriously, it's great.
They've all been so good. My apologies to Dennis. My apologies to Clint. I think I got everybody else's name right, but I was doing this little graphic thing. I was worried more about the graphics and putting my hands in the right places than thinking about their name. I think I called Dennis Poulette. I think I called him Paulette. So my apologies there. And then Clint Zeller, he got an S on the end of his. So my apologies, Ken.
Yep.
But your face was right. But no, they've been incredible. Like
they've been great.
All of their strengths, like Ken's around the bases. Okay, so oh man, there's just so many. Dennis is from like the history and his storytelling of where he's been vlogging, which is I'm thinking last week's, but like
the VHS and how he pulls all that together. And I'm like, so dude, he is an OG vlogger before YouTube.
Good. And then Clint, straight to the point. I mean, you can tell he's got an eye for how things are interesting to watch his channel in the future. He's got it dialed in. I think he's just got it to make the content and have it connect. Who else? Oh, Trey. I had to comment on Trey's video and say, Trey, I am so sorry. Like, I promise I made this before I saw your video, because there were so many common elements which we were talking about before, before we went on live here. Ken's with the bases, the way he chose the illustrations and really maximized his points, it was like, oh my goodness. So and then Chase just real and raw sitting down with you. It's like, oh yeah. That didn't hurt at all.
It's so good. It is so good. Yeah, and actually Clint is in the chat saying, thanks, man. My goof ended up being a blessing, I guess. It was amazing. And so those that are on YouTube, easy way to get to Clint's channel is just click on his profile on his comment, and it'll take you right there. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. He's going to upload a new video every single day, and you don't want to miss it. I need, every time I do a plug like that.
Like a
a little
like an audio.
Yeah. Either that or one of those little rubber toys that we had when we were kids that, squeak. It's like a
That's what you need. You need manual inputs. Like, so you can hit a buzzer. That's probably why that guy on the what's it called? The Money Show walks around, because nobody knows what he's going to do. until he hits the buzzer, rings the bell, smashes the, you need one of those.
That would work. Although, to be fair, I did purchase some extra equipment and gear, and I do have a Rode Procaster Pro that is coming, and I'll have a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, look at this. Joshua Putnam, he's actually saying it. You can when you get your Procaster. He saw the story. He saw the story. It's going to happen. I'm going to have all sorts of stuff. And I don't know. Give me some ideas, by the way, if you think of different sound effects that we need to have here. I definitely think there needs to be an explosion. And I need to figure out how to sync that up with like a weird graphic. Maybe we'll do that going into our podcast intro. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyways. So Joshua said, wait, where was it? There was one I was missing. He said, it's not this one. It wasn't that one. He said, I couldn't tell it isn't coming together. I'm loving it.
No, it's great as far as content. We're just talking about behind the scenes connection with one another, and then like syncing it together where each vlog pastor is in the other's video. Mm-hmm. That's what keeps it kind of cohesively tied when you're in the audience. Like Joshua and I are constantly, at least we have been in the past, we're constantly in each other's videos, linking and passing the audience off to the next one.
Yep.
Whereas like if you hit a roadblock and you don't like Dennis or Clint or Chase or Trey or whoever, well then why are you going to go watch the other one?
Yeah.
But you may have caught a nugget, like Joshua asked the question. And anyway, there's so many different ways.
Well, and that the problem, and here's why it's not connecting. For Jarrod and I to connect and intertwine as well as we did in the first couple seasons, we got no sleep. So it was like,
it's a bonding experience.
We were up late nights, not getting to
each other at 2:30.
Oh yeah.
Had issues.
Yeah, it's like Jared's texting me at 2:30. He's like, "Hey, I'm just kind of wrapping up the vlog, man. I hope it comes out all right." And he's saying that, and I'm like, I just started my edit. So it was like, whoops. So because of that, because of the extra work and how little sleep we got, we dialed it back in a different way. I think we maybe just pulled back a little bit too far.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to put that on anybody, but at the same time, apparently you need it. Because we have, like you said, we have late nights. We even, in Vegas, we were roommates. So like we've really gotten to know one another over the years.
Yes.
Making these videos.
Yep, absolutely. So where I was going with this, I started off and I said, I hope you guys are enjoying life. Am I enjoying life? Yes, I'm enjoying life. And I didn't realize until I uploaded my Sunday vlog, and I've gotten several comments from friends and acquaintances that are like, dude, you're extremely busy on Sunday. Like, busier than I even am, and these are from people that I think are super busy. And I didn't look at it that way. And there was a comment from somebody yesterday, and they're like, asking if I'm a full-time pastor or if I do anything else. And I'm like, yes. It's like, yes, I'm a full-time pastor, but yes, I do something else. I like to keep myself busy.
That was I got that at church, actually. I don't know how to take it.
Right.
I honestly, I didn't know how to take it because I talk so much about video work and, hanging out with you guys doing the vlog pastor thing. A fellow at church said, hey, is this your, I'm kind of new to the church, obviously. Says, is this your full-time job? Or like, you talk a lot about video. Is that your full-time thing? You just kind of do this on the side? I was like, no, it's my full-time gig. Yeah. I'm a pastor. That's number one.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and I don't like the full-time or part-time as much as, because anybody that's really doing pastoral work, if they're leading a church, doesn't matter the size of the church, that is full-time ministry. Yeah. And it doesn't really turn off.
Yeah.
So you can't, and that's the hard thing, is you can't really compute that into hours and stuff like that. It's like, well, how many hours do you work? You trust me, you don't want to know, and I don't even want to try to track it. But
all the hours that nobody else is, pretty much.
Right.
I found that, like, when the moon's out, that's when the pastor's out, getting phone calls, hospital visits, all sorts of crazy.
On call, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is I look at it more as I can't even say bivocational now, and I prefer that term. So it's like I've got 2 different vocations. I've got 2 different jobs, but quite frankly, I'm usually at like 3 or 4 different, and that's kind of how I run. I can't remember the last time that I just had one job. I mean, we're talking the last time I had one job, I think maybe I was 16 or 17.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time, and I got myself in lots of trouble.
That's true.
And because of that, it's like, it's that whole thing, idle hands or the devil's play thing. And it's like, dude, if I'm not staying active and doing stuff. And that's the thing. I've just become very good at being lazy. And making the most of the time that I'm in. And so I'm able to be hyper focused in certain moments, to the point that even like my wife and kids, they think that I'm just oblivious to the world around me, but I'll be so focused, and it makes me accomplish more in a shorter amount of time. So it's the same amount of work, but maybe less time. And that's part of my style. I don't like hourly work. I prefer contract and piece work. It's like, how much is this? What value do you put on this work? If I can get it done quicker, that means I value my time a little bit more, but you value the end result. And that's kind of how I go, because I don't know, maybe it's the biblical concept of the workman's worthy of the hire. And I think it's what we're hired for. So I prefer not to be hired for an hour. If you just want me to punch a clock, I'll punch a clock. But I'm
ruined for that hourly work. No, thank you.
I prefer project based. So that's kind of what I do. But that being said, yes, I'm enjoying life. And apparently I'm very busy at it. And that's the thing where sometimes I'll get those questions, how are things going? And I'm like, hold on, I got to think. I've been moving so fast that I need to stop and reevaluate. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. So
that's what always takes me off guard. I think, hazard of the profession, when we're talking with folks, we're constantly asking, how are you doing? How are you doing? What's going on in your world? And they answer and enter into the conversation. You deal with issues or whatever it is that they want to talk about. And it's rare that people ask us, hey, what's going on? So every Thursday here on this show, you say, hey, man, how's your week been? I'm like, oh, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that. I don't know. It's so weird.
Right.
But
it's definitely a different concept. Hey, I want to get to a couple of the comments here, which, by the way, for those that are listening to this podcast after the fact, we do stream live on YouTube, roughly about 10:30, 10:45 every Thursday. So you can catch us over there. Why do we do that time? Because that time works for us and makes us hyper efficient at all of the things that we do. We've got like the Dude Rocks was here in the chat. Kiera's here. Nathan Nelson, Jason Remster. We talked, he was in there. Henry is saying, what's up, boys?
What's up, Henry?
Joshua Putnam had another good one here. It was right here. Where was it? Yes, it was this one that said you can get that when you get your Procaster, which the follow-up, Josh saying your equipment is really getting pro levels, man. Thank you. It is costing pro levels as well.
Dude, your Insta story the other day, I think I sent you a text just previous to that said, how do you afford all of this stuff? Which I know the answer. Like, you scrimp and save and take on extra jobs and put your money where your mouth is for what you care about. But it was just, oh, man. And then you're like, you're not going to like my Insta stories. Go check it out.
Right. Well, and your comment was, it's expensive being your friends.
Yeah, it's expensive. Well, because you see everything that Josh and Diana and all of them are getting, Jason Mayfield. And you're like, man, I want a new A7S, what is it, 3 or 4, or whatever we're on right now?
3.
I want one of those.
You do want one of those. I know you want one of those. But I think you would be just fine with a Sony A6600. It would replace all of that Canon stuff. Let's see. Here's one, Tomlinson Road saying, I think that the format for season 3 is cool with the 7 pastors. And I would agree. I do like incorporating more pastors in on this. It's been fun. It's been fun for us to get some extra perspectives, to interact with some others. It's also been fun, I think, to challenge the other pastors to get creative in some other ways. And some of them are used to it. I mean, like, Trey Van Camp is always creating different vlog style. He's kind of at the head of the curve all the time on stuff like that. But I honestly, like, this type of a collab, we had talked about this. I can't think of there ever being a collab that is this big and this intricate, and yet the thing we're struggling with is it's not intricate enough for us.
Yeah. So and you guys let us know. This is a real question. We were trying to rack our brains. Where is it that 7 channels or 7 individual YouTubers outside of a Mr. Beast like Plant a Tree type collab?
Yeah.
Where are they actively engaging on the same questions or in the same around the same topics and same content? Do you know of any? Because I would be curious to watch that. I would like to see something on that scale. We couldn't. I don't think we came up with anything, did we?
Not that I can think of. No, I mean there have been the closest thing I've seen have been like one-off videos. Nothing that has been this, that extends a whole month. Yes, there's been hundreds of creators collabing on one idea, and it creates 100 videos, but I don't know. I just haven't seen anything.
Not that it's not out there. We just haven't seen it, and would love to see it.
It might be. Honestly, I think the closest thing that you could probably find, I bet you in the gaming world there are some, because they're doing, big groups that are coming together and going multiple times. That would be about the closest thing in theory, thinking this through, that could actually work. Everything else that I've seen are just, one-off videos. I think of like David Wesley. He does these virtual choirs, and he'll have hundreds of people in one video, but it's one video. And yes, he'll do another one, but it takes him months to do that. We got 7 guys that are interacting daily and putting stuff out. And that's where I haven't seen anything on that scale. And even that being said, we're having some struggles and things like that. But you know what? I want to make it bigger, and I want to make it more intricate.
Hey, you don't got to tell everything you know.
Because I'm extra. That's kind of what I do. So Diana is answering the question.
Propane accessories. Why do you keep saying that to me, Diana? Huh? Diana.
Probably.
Diana, why are you talking to me like that? It's because I'm not from Arlen. I'm from Stephenville.
I mean, King of the Hill, though. But so Nate Weller is saying, how much of your vlogging and video work included in your church job description? 0 for me. Like, none of it is in there. And I will say this flat out. If I weren't at my church and I were to go to any other church and they asked me to be a lead pastor and wanted me to do video work as part of the job description, I would run and tell them never, because no. And part of that is me and my personality. My video work that I do is really a creative outlet for me to take the things that God is placing on my heart and in my mind and just get creative with it, and to feel obligated with a pay that I have to do that. No, couldn't happen.
Yeah.
What about you, Jarrod? Anything when you think about that?
I think you're right. I think that would steal the joy immediately. I think you'd feel like you had to do it rather than you get to do it. And I don't know. I like protecting this particular sphere from that whole thinking, because I would so much rather just share my life. That, share what tech we engage with, what pastors are influencing us, what just all that stuff, and do it natively rather than saying you need to put out some content this week. You need same idea. Yeah. What computers are you using now?
Yep.
Floating coffee hand. I knew I saw something.
Every single time. Oh, that's some good stuff. Yeah, I don't have any of that in there. No, I do video work for the church, absolutely. But it's not anything that is required. So,
which I think was actually the beginning topic of the day. Like, where do you see all of this going? Where do you see ministry going in the future? And I'm just going to throw this out there and be quasi controversial with it all. I see us making like we already have a dramatic shift towards digital. And I think the ones who are going to lead in that are the ones who are putting their money where their mouth is right now, like the Trey Van Camps, the Joshua Verwers, the Jarrod Browns, the Clint Zeller, all those guys. Chase Jones. I'm going to have to go through all the names, but you guys know who you are. All the guys who are doing that, who are sharing their lives. Nothing huge, nothing monumental, but in an authentic way of trying to reach people natively on each platform. I think that is a significant piece to the future of ministry.
Yeah, and as much as I say I would run for the hills if it were to go to any church and they would require it, I do see that being a future requirement for ministry. Having a social media presence, understanding social media, and just like, because you can look at the church always seems to be one or two steps behind culture, which is bad. Church should be setting the tone for culture instead of following it.
Yep. That's my thinking. Go ahead.
But we're always behind. And one of the things that culture is doing is business world. You want to apply for a job, you best make sure you've checked your social media, because you probably won't get hired with the stuff that you're posting out there and making public for everybody to see. And I can tell you from personal experience, when it comes to the vlog pastors, looking at other pastors, they reach out to me and they're like, hey, I'd love to be a part of it. I'm checking your social media posts, and you have disqualified yourself because of your social media post. And so some of that, I think, is going to affect outside of just, a seasonal vlog pastor's show. I think it's going to start hitting ministries where they're going to start to look at that, because your online presence will be an identifier of where your heart is at. Jesus actually famously said, out of the abundance of the heart, the thumb tweets. So
whoever lies, heresy. Oh my goodness.
But I
think certain people would say you can craft an image of what you look like or whatever on camera. Yeah. But the camera, the cell phone, whatever, as you tell stories and you go along, it actually rips away the veil of all the facade that you've put up. You don't believe me? Get into this and try it. Eventually you get to a point and it breaks you down to a raw part in your heart where you go, I don't care. I just have to say this message that's on my heart. It's got to come out. This is who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what people long for, because a lot more is caught than taught. And you could stand up on Sundays and give 30 minutes of it. But if you're vlogging or sharing your stories or doing TikTok or whatever it is, and you're showing daily, eventually your real life and what you really believe comes across.
Yeah.
I think people connect with that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, we can sit there and talk about, people are asking, are you, full-time pastor and stuff like that, because all they see is the 1 hour that we're doing. Yeah. What about the other 167 throughout the week? And that's the thing, that digital presence and video is huge. And that's where I do appreciate that question that, asking, how much of it is in the job description? None currently. I don't want there to ever be, but I understand that there is a day coming. Yeah. Lord tarries, it's going to happen. And for other types of pastors, and I'm talking like a lead pastor role. Now, if I had a church where I could afford an associate or a lead or a youth pastor, you best believe that that's going to be in their job description, because I'm going to be looking at delegating some work, and I need to know that they need to understand that. Because if they aren't understanding it and they're not doing it, well, that means I've got to do it, and I don't want to. So I'd hire and pay somebody else to do it. And that's the thing. So even like in small church ministry where it's a volunteer basis, it's getting to the point where I'm now looking at others and thinking one of the first things we need is that video and that digital presence. Who here has that? And if they don't have it, I need to start training them. Now, nobody in our church had it, so somebody had to have it. The joys of small church pastorates. You've got to be the jack of all trades and the master of everything. So it's like, we don't get to master none, we have to master it all. So that's kind of where that's at. I will say John Hayes had said, I needed to hear that about full-time ministry. I'm stepping into a lead pastor role 1st of September, and I'm going to be bivocational here for a while to start. And he said, that is why you guys are doing this. Don't ever feel like you're just getting on here to pontificate. John, appreciate that so much. And I'm glad you did get a benefit out of that. To me, there's nothing wrong with bivocational. Honestly, I prefer bivocational work. I would sit there and say it would be much easier if there was just the pastoral.
Listen, no. For me, if you the minute you say pastor, walls are everywhere, landmines are everywhere. To me, the bivocational aspect of it, even if it didn't pay, is open doors and opportunities into people's hearts for God to deliver messages through you. Because look, this whole video thing, it's a ruse. Don't tell anyone. It's a ruse to share our faith, to share Jesus with people. But they're not going to listen to the pastor these days, because it's expected of you for you pastors out there. You're supposed to live this awesome, incredible life where God talks to you. But the video guy, the masonry worker, the carpenter, you guys are slipping up on people, loving on people, and like, oh yeah, by the way, let me pray for you.
Yes.
Yeah, you in agreement?
Totally in agreement. Absolutely loving it.
Plus you're probably not getting paid like you should be, so you need a side hustle.
Well, yeah. There's definitely that too.
That's a different story. Yeah. Talk to Jason Mayfield and this guy.
Right. Joshua Putnam is saying, COVID has opened the eyes of my people to the importance of video and social media ministry. That's the thing. I think because people didn't realize, those that really were committed to church, they didn't realize how necessary it was. And you heard governors then sitting there and saying, no, churches are an essential service. But it took them a while, because at first they're like, well, it's not really essential. And all of a sudden they realize people are running amok. Oh, wait, we do need beacons of morality to speak life and hope into this nation, into this world. And that's where I think it definitely opened up. Because it wasn't just that. We realize they can access, our pastors can now reach us right here. And it can be something as simple as a tweet, as simple as a selfie with a small caption attached to it, or a quick little Instagram story of the day, just to know that you're there, that you're alive, that you're still breathing, and that, the quarantine didn't lock you in a closet somewhere.
Let me talk crazy for a second. Maybe your Wednesdays, which were normally up at church, at a certain time, sitting in a pew, and you had a smattering of a couple of people who showed up to meet with you. Maybe you assigned a vlog that you carefully crafted that God put on your heart for the message, and you had the people watch it, and you started interacting over that. I'm just saying.
Crazy
one way to skin a cat, right?
And here's one of those things that I've had other youth pastors that have reached out to me because of my vlogs and said, we're using your vlogs as our midweek curriculum. We're watching it, and then we're discussing it. And I'm like, why didn't I think of doing that with my own church? It's like, I hadn't thought about that. Even though oftentimes it's what I'm vlogging about that does get into those discussions with the members of the church, because I'm thinking about it, and I'm sharing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Diana stepping up and saying, pastors with cameras is an even bigger door opened, and that's what the church always failed to miss out on. Yes. Yeah, because you talk about it. We're often thinking about just the physical world. We're not thinking about the digital world. And there is this digital world that is out there that people are on, that they're engaged with, and we need to understand that. We need to get that. And I think for the future of ministry. What will it look like? I think there's going to be a larger online presence even than what there is. I see everything kind of going in waves. And so you look at it as a tide. It's rushing in, but it's getting bigger and it's getting bigger. And it's going to happen because I think everybody came out the gate and they're like, well, we don't know what to do. We're just trying to do something. But now they're able to kind of pull back a little bit and reevaluate what are we doing and how can we be more effective in this? And so that's the little things that pastors are now talking about. I mean, you know, some of the stuff that they were trying to buy up equipment, and it was equipment they didn't really need. But they saw everybody else buying it, so I need to buy it. And the stuff they really needed, they weren't buying, and some of it wasn't even available. So now they're going back in and they're reevaluating, okay, well, I don't necessarily need a $2,000 camera. I don't necessarily need a $400 microphone. But I've already got a $1,000 camera, and Walmart sells a $20 microphone. I can plug straight into this.
Yeah. And that's not to say that just because you have all these tools and resources and ideas that I say old, but the other format's going to go out the window. You're still going to meet with people face to face. That is never going anywhere. And Lord, may it be that we meet face to face more. We share spiritual experiences together in the person, in the flesh. I'm just saying, this digital platform thing is not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it's not going anywhere. Both are going to amplify. Lord willing, let them both amplify.
Yeah, it definitely will. Yep.
Meet with Joshua. He's going to share the word. Y'all are going to break bread. Y'all are going to have an awesome time. You're going to worship together, but then you're also going to be able to go home and see what his life is like. I know I haven't gotten enough. I had an encounter with somebody. We're brothers in the faith, but I want to know more. I want to know how they think. I want to know how they're interacting with God. Yeah. I want to know what they use to equip their people. I want to know everything. I want to keep going. I want to know because it feeds, it edifies. It's not going anywhere, man.
Yeah,
it's more and more and more.
Definitely not. It is going to continue up. We got a couple more questions or comments rather that I just want to get to here as we start to wrap things up. But actually, before we get to those, which by the way, if you guys have got any other questions or comments before we wrap this up, we definitely want to hear it. When it comes back, future, what will ministry look like based on what is it looking like? So let me ask you this. When I'm thinking about like a wave, okay, so a wave comes in and it swells up, but then it pulls back and it's like it rises and then it falls.
Sure.
My local church and ministry, that's what I saw. I saw it. We were kind of here. Online went, so the digital attendance went up. Then the digital attendance went back down. We started to meet in person. It started to go up and then it started to drop back down. Do we think the next swell, is it going to be a combination of both physical and digital presence? What are your thoughts on that?
I do. I think it's both and. I think the more we embrace technology and more we embrace digital, I think we're going to be training our congregants, our fellow believers as well. So as I show them, it's kind of scary to take a camera out in public or to share different facets of my life. Not everything needs to be shared, but share different facets of my life. I think that's going to empower them to do the same. So when we get together, when we meet and we are the church and we see cool stuff happen, when we see God move, we're going to share that. We're going to share how it impacted us. We're going to share how it impacted our family. We're going to gather those stories and we're going to be the church. Here's my thing. We are going to be the church. We're going to share stories that shape reality. That's what we are. We are the buttress of truth. So I think there's going to be an uptick in both. I think we're going to be so hungry to be together after this stupid corona. I think we're going to be so hungry to be together, and we'll be equipping the saints to share that love and koinonia together, and then share it with the people who are starving for it.
Yeah.
As an invitation. I think this is just an invitation to something greater. I think of it in pools. I think you come across something digitally, you find out more and more and more and more and more about them until you have got to show up and enjoy it with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will also say that there's the barrier to entry for the church attender is a much lower barrier with the digital. And one of the biggest barriers that people face in going to a new church is, I don't know anybody. And one of the crazy things about online presence, and I've had these experiences. Like it was a month ago where I had this experience. We're driving around here in town, and there is a car following us. And I pulled into the parking lot at the grocery store, walked in, noticed this car's parked next to me, and I'm not paying attention to it. I'm not going to talk or anything. Walk in there, come back out, and here's this guy leaning out his window, talking to my family that's in the car. And I walk up. He recognized me from YouTube, saw me a block away driving, and followed me just to say hey, because he felt like he knew me. Yeah. I have no idea who he is, but he felt comfortable enough to come up to us in a parking lot and just start talking. And so that's the other thing, that this is happening not just for pastors that are going to be getting on video, but Christians, church goers. If they start putting their faith online and sharing it a little bit more, there's an open door. It's easier to invite. Statistics have said that most people start attending a new church because somebody invited them. And it's not even just the invite, it's somebody they knew invited them. And then they're going with a friend, they're going with somebody they know. If you have met somebody online and you've seen the pastor online and the pastor is talking to you, or the online greeter is talking to you, or another church member is talking to you, and they're like, hey, you should come check us out if you're in the area. You're more likely to do that. And that's where it starts to pick up. Now, translating that when you've got people thousands of miles away, they're obviously not going to come physically in person, but it will start to impact those that are in your close region, there locally. They'll start to see that, and it might open up. I can see that happening.
It's going to impact you as well as a pastor, because what these social platforms demand that we do is create community. The ultimate end-all be-all, hate to crush your hopes and dreams, is not for people to show up at the church and attend and listen to you speak. It's to create community, create a place where people feel safe enough to share and consume the content that's being delivered. It means one thing on YouTube, but it doesn't have to. It means something completely different inside of the community. And they're teaching us these things. I love it. I think I've learned a lot on YouTube. You in the early days, you kept on saying, dude, what are you giving the people who are watching? Like, yeah, it's great. You're sharing your life, like you're going along doing anything, but like what content or what value does the consumer get? And it's like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. I still wrestle with that, and it applies to the church as well. It's like, we have this amazing content. How can we package it in such a way that it's consumable and that it impacts lives? This is an incredible time, man.
You know what we need? We need somebody out there that, like a Christian pastor who vlogs. If he could create some type of a course that would help people,
throw the plug.
Go check out vlogyourministry.com or Value with Video. Trey Van Camp is doing that exact same thing. So, hey, go check it out. At least until I get my course up and going. And then
you have two options.
Yeah. But when we talk about community, here's the other part about that community. You and I, how many hundreds of miles are we away from each other? We're a 10.5-hour drive. I think I calculated it last time. 10.5 hours. And we're that far away, but yet you're one of my closest friends because we're talking all the time. We're interacting all the time. And if I've got things going on and I need some prayer, I know I can shoot you a message and it's there. And I guarantee the same thing goes when the shoe's on the other foot. That's the thing that I think people aren't catching and realizing sometimes, that the community has. We're 1,000 miles away. So 942. Yep. It's a ways. It's a way. Wow, your Canon does a weird thing when it zooms. The screen wobbles. Are you guys do that again? Pull it away. Look at that. Do you see that wobble in there, people? Look at whoa. Does mine do the same thing? Let's check.
Look at the colors. Oh.
Mine doesn't wobble. Yours wobbles.
It's an old camera.
Use what Canon.
You have. Use what you have.
Yeah, somebody did say that. Okay, let's get to some of those last comments here. Which, speaking about cameras, there was one that I saw in here, and it was good. It was really good. Let me look.
Josh
I'm going back
upon it, and it was good.
I did. I looked upon it, and it was good. I'm scrolling through. We got several comments, which thank you guys all for being in here. It's been amazing. It's been fun. Oh yeah, Henry saying the Canon M50 Mark II is coming out. Are they going to call it the Mark II, or are they going to call it the M60?
Diana, the M50 Mark II.
Or are they going to call it the M50B, because all Canon is the B team when it comes to cameras.
All right.
So Josh is saying, I'm with Jarrod. Yep, he's with you. He definitely wants a Sony A7S III, but he'll be very content with the A64 that he owns, the 6400.
Top camera brands.
Sony.
Let's see the list of 2020. Oh, yeah, actually.
Told you.
They made a good one this last time around. Really.
Honestly, the last two that they've made, the A7S III, remarkable. If there was ever a unicorn camera, that's the unicorn camera. Yeah. It was like when Sony
wait for the other shoe to fall, man.
When Canon tried to make the unicorn camera, but their unicorn, you know what it was? It was a donkey with a traffic cone attached to its head. That's what it was.
Bit of a Frankenstein, yeah.
So it was kind of funny, which, by the way, I got to find that old Diana live stream, because she was talking about whichever one it was. I think it was the R5. And I was like, I said that. I broke Diana during her live stream. I broke her. She stopped, and then she banned me from ever being on her live streams again because of that comment. Joshua Putnam is saying, just a thought on the vlog pastors. You could get them all together on here to end the season. I like where your head's at. Somebody should write that down.
That should be in week 4.
Yeah. Like, things that we've all done, answered questions, and there's like an extra Sunday and a Monday in there. I think that would be a good idea.
That'd be perfect.
So Tomlinson Road is saying, I don't really know anything like this, and I really enjoy it because it introduces new channels to the viewers. He had never heard of Clint or Ken before. So yes, there are so many things with that I do enjoy, those aspects of it, which we don't want to get rid of that, because there are a lot of other pastors out there that do YouTube, and we want to try to include as many as possible. It's just kind of trying to figure this out little by little.
You had something like 30 pastors or something, right?
Yeah, and the list keeps growing.
That's nuts, man. That is so cool.
Yeah, quite frankly, there's enough out there that, if we wanted to do like a Vlogmas Christmas edition, we could have one for every day easily.
I'm telling you, and you guys remember, you probably do. I know Trey will remember. Back in the day, man, you went looking around for Christian content. Outside of Bethke and a couple like live streams from churches, there was nothing.
And to be fair, I only found Trey because I was watching Casey Neistat. And Trey's video where he went out to New York for one of the Casey events, it was like a Samsung event. That's how I found him. It came up in a recommendation, which good on YouTube for suggesting that. I only found you because of Instagram from your wife. I had somehow looked up like hashtag preacher's wife. And all of a sudden there came Jessica. And then I was like, wait, they've got a YouTube channel? So it's very difficult to find pastors out there. I think now's the time where more are popping up. And as I find them, and I'm always searching for new pastors, new ministers, the new Christians that are just making good content. So it's out there. I keep finding more. So we'll see what the future holds for that.
That's so awesome, though.
Yeah. Diana saying COVID was an instant needed wake up to the church. Absolutely. She also said that the swells, the difference with the swells up and down, the shore isn't as low as it was before, and the overall water will never recede back to it where it was before, even going back to physical meetings. I like it. Way to use our analogy and run with it. Tomlinson Road saying, one thing that we realized we needed was a volunteer that is essentially an online greeter during our Sunday live stream. We meet in the building, but have a large part of the church that meet online. And these are trusted volunteers that can help connect our online to our pastor and staff. They answer questions, pass along prayer needs.
That's a huge tip for anybody who's listening to this. If you're a pastor and you're running an online ministry, that is a huge tip. For us, I noticed that when we were there, we had greeters and whatnot inside of the chat with folks. It went swimmingly. People loved it. They loved the experience.
Yep.
The minute our greeters ended up in real church, and we lost the majority of them, it went a different direction.
Yeah.
People were like, "Where's everybody? What's going on in here? What do I do? Are we on the right thing?" Yeah, that's a huge tip.
Yeah, very definitely one of those advanced tips. So I like it because it's something you need to be considering and looking into. Josh saying you couldn't find a better answer for this issue or situation than here. Good job, guys.
Oh, thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Fist bump. So Genevieve saying 1,000 miles sounds like a road trip.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
Yes.
You know,
like I said, I'm scheduled as soon as this is all done. You have a plane to jump out of.
I do. We're going to be a little bit farther on subscriber count at that point, but hey, it'll work. And as far as the wait, what Diana saying? Don't say it, Jarrod. Oh, I know what she was saying. Don't say it, Jarrod. Diana.
Say what?
M50 Mark II. But she says she might be obligated to at
M50s.
She's got to check it out.
Diana Gladney, Entree Woman TV. She would love to answer your questions on the Canon M50.
She would. She would absolutely love to. Just be prepared.
She needs to make videos on it.
Just be prepared that she's going to answer those questions by pointing you to videos she's already made a year ago. And as far as that stream that goes, the stream where I broke her, she says she was crying laughing on that stream. It was hilarious. I might even have to go back and look at my Instagram stories and see if I can find the archival, because I screen captured and screen recorded some of her breaking. That may be a fun one. Hey, if you're not already following me over on Instagram, go check it out, Joshua Verwers. And here in a little bit, I'm going to put that back on there. Why? Because I can, and I find it funny. So that's what the plan is. Okay, there were a couple of questions I did see from, let's see, yes, Nathan Nelson. What is your favorite worship song?
Oh, man. The only one that comes to mind for me that I can't get off of is The Blessing. Caught a Lot of Hate. I love it. I love it.
So my favorite one is I Surrender. Don't ask me who sings it, but it's I Surrender. I can't remember who sings it, but it's good. I like it. And he also says, what is your favorite verse in the Bible? Whew.
Oh, man. Bible. Hang on. How's
favorite verse in the Bible. And then also, what is your name on Spotify? I can add you on Spotify if you have worship music, Christian rap music. I'm not really active on Spotify. I wouldn't know. You can pretty much check any of... if I'm on any platform, it's at Joshua Verwers everywhere. Although I did have a nice little Instagram fake account that tried to pop up yesterday. That was fun. They just left the S off. But yeah, favorite verse in the Bible. I would say my favorite verse in the Bible, it varies. I obviously I'm reading so much of the Bible that it varies, sometimes day to day, sometimes week to week, sometimes month to month. I will say right now, I've kind of gone back to one of my oldie but goodies, Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, observing to do according to all that is written therein, for then you will have good success, and then you will make your ways prosperous. It's that meditating on the word day and night so that you can see yourself actually doing what it says. That's where you find success and prosper. So that was like, it just kind of hit me again that I've been meditating on the word, but I haven't been seeing myself actually doing it as much. And if I want the success and I want the prosperous life to come out of it, I need to see myself actually doing it. So I actually do it. See myself, I don't know whether we're talking about this being predictive or present. There's one to think and meditate on. See yourself observing to do according to all. Maybe it's I'm seeing myself actually doing it. Ooh. Anyways,
that's
Jarrod.
Dude, that's really good. Hey, you know what's funny about this is the first time that we met, we asked each other this question basically on your video. You remember the one where we collabed and met up? And it's come up again several times over Vlog Pastors, but I'm going to change it up because I was actually thinking of what you just read. That's why I was like, this is so cool, man. that's right up there. I love Be Bold and Courageous, and then which flows into what you're talking
Verse
about.
9, yep.
So I'm going to take a different tack, and this is going to be 1 Thessalonians 4:11, I think, and 12. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. Then people who are not believers will respect the way you live, and you will not need to depend on others. I don't know. To me, I mean, a lot of people say, well, live a quiet life, but you throw a camera in your face. It's pretty quiet. I'm just showing you what my everyday life is. I think this vlogging thing wins the respect of outsiders. They see that you are genuine, real people who deal with genuine, real issues and have a supernatural God who shows up and puts it all in place.
So good.
Living that thing out. That's a fun one. That's my favorite.
Yep. And amen there from Nelson. And Henry is saying, show me your faith without your works. I'll show you my faith by my works.
There you go, Henry.
Love it. Hey, guys, I think that is going to wrap us up for the week. Thank you so much for being here on Vlog Pastors Podcast, episode number 16. Wow. I am Joshua Verwers. This man to my right is Jarrod Brown. Until next time, stay blessed. Enjoy God's best.